If you've been researching workouts, you've been watching fitness videos, you've been watching all the things on YouTube, you've bought all the gear, you bought new workout outfits, you're saving routines on Instagram, you still haven't gotten started, this video is for you today. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this getting ready phase and getting stuck in this getting ready to get ready. You're planning to plan. And today I want to explain why it feels productive, but it's actually keeping you stuck. And how do you break out of that cycle? Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather, and I make videos about yoga and fitness for those of us in midlife who are trying to build strong, healthy bodies that will carry us into our 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. And so today, what I wanted to do is talk a little bit more about this idea of getting ready to get ready. It's this phase of we're doing this constant planning, but we can't necessarily seem to get out of it and actually start doing some of the work. And, when we're in that sort of getting ready phase, it can feel like progress. You actually get like a dopamine hit in your brain where it starts to feel like you're making a little bit of progress, but it isn't necessarily making progress. So you're kind of just in this loop of getting ready to get ready. That preparation does give you that emotional reward of progress, but it takes away that discomfort of actually taking the action. Okay. That takes away the discomfort of actually getting up in the morning and walking out the door and getting to the gym or going to a yoga class or turning on the video on your TV and doing the workout. Research, planning, all of this stuff, buying new outfit, getting the things, getting the equipment, that all feels safe. Okay. You get that dopamine hit without any of the risk that comes with that. All right. And taking an action, taking that actual step, taking that action requires a little bit of vulnerability, some discomfort, and just imperfection, being okay with not being good at something and being brand new at something again. And that's totally okay. All right. And your brain can't necessarily tell the difference between you preparing for change and you're actually changing. So when you're in this loop of getting ready to get ready, you're getting that hit, you're getting that dopamine hit without actually taking action. Okay. So that's why it feels like it's progress, but it's not necessarily progress. There is a hidden fear that comes with over preparation and overthinking things. Okay. The real issue isn't like fitness or anything like this. It's can be a fear of failure. It could be fear of judgment or fear of just like, why am I doing this? What's the point of even doing this? I'm not seeing progress. It's wasted effort, right? And so you might have this fear of starting and that you can't stick with it, that you quit again. Like you found something that doesn't necessarily work for you, so you start it and you quit it right away. Okay. You might have a fear of doing it wrong. You might have a fear of doing something wrong. If you're a perfectionist, if you're somebody who likes to do things right, you like to do things right the right way the first time, you might have this fear of doing something wrong. That comes with being vulnerable and being open to not being good at something. I will say this, that I ran a 10K. I did a trail run, my very first trail run, on Sunday. Today's Tuesday. And you know what? Not very good at it, but I had a lot of fun and I had a good time and it was okay. I was okay with not being good at something. Okay. So you have to sort of get over this fear of like being perfect and being good and being good at everything that you do. You might have this like fear of actually confirming your negative belief. Like maybe you can't do this anymore. Maybe you're just at a point in life where it's like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I actually heard this on a podcast or an audiobook or somewhere. I don't know exactly where I heard it, but it was this idea of like, you can get things back in midlife. You can certainly get it back, whatever it may be. It might look a little bit different though than what it did in your 20s and 30s. Okay. So, if you've got this viewpoint of maybe I can't do this anymore, maybe shift your thinking around it to be more like, sure, maybe I can't do the splits anymore, but you know what I can do is I can still do some daily stretching, working on my hips, working on my flexibility, working on building strength in my core. Those are things I certainly can still do. Okay. So as long as you're getting ready, you're in this phase of getting ready to get ready. You never have to find out. You never have to find out what that hidden fear might necessarily be. I was talking about earlier about this, like maybe there's a little bit of perfectionism in you, and perfectionism can certainly be a trap. You're in kind of this phase of life, and you might be this phase of life where it's like you don't want to start small, you don't want to start like which is going on a 10-minute walk every day, right? You want to start big, you want to start correctly, you want to do things perfectly, right? And you don't necessarily need to do that. We need to get out of that way of thinking of that you have to be perfect at it. When you were younger, you could experiment a little bit more. You could try things out. I like this, I don't like that. There's a little bit of less of a fear of getting an injury, right? The older you wants a little bit more efficiency, you want a little bit more certainty. You want to know that the things that you're doing are actually going to work. That it's going to give you the results that you want to see in the time frame in which you want to see them. You don't want to waste time, okay? And so what happens is that perfectionism becomes procrastination in disguise. It's not that you are like, I don't want to try this thing. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. It really just becomes like, I want to know the things that I'm doing are right, that they're going to work. Okay. So the goal here is we're not going to be like, okay, I want to know if this is going to work for me. You're not going to have that mindset here. What I want you to think about is, what movement can you do today? What movement can you commit to doing today? And that's it. Stop thinking about, 10 years from now, 5 years from now. Start thinking about what is it that you can do today that's going to give you a small step towards the larger goal. Let's talk about motivation. So motivation, not going to save you. Not going to save you. Motivation wanes. We lose it. Waiting to feel ready is a losing strategy. A lot of times you get in this mindset of, okay, I'm going to start on Monday. I'm going to start next week. I'm going to start next month. I'm going to start on Monday. I'm going to start next week. I'm going to start next month. It keeps going in that cycle. And all of a sudden it's Tuesday, and then all of a sudden it's Wednesday, and then it's Thursday. And you're like, all right, I'm just going to restart again on Monday. And that sort of like getting that feeling of like, I need to be ready. And then Monday morning comes and you don't feel ready. That is a losing strategy. All right. That is not going to work. Readiness comes after action, not before. So if it's Monday and you're going to do this thing on Monday, do the thing. It might not be perfect. It's okay. You know what? Sometimes if you say to yourself, I'm going to start getting up at 5 a.m. so I can go to the gym before work, maybe the first thing is, let's work on getting up at 5 a.m. Let's work on going to bed early enough so that you can get up at 5 a.m. All right. So that's where the readiness comes in. The readiness comes in after you start taking these actions, you start taking these baby steps towards the goal. Action is going to help you to create some clarity, some confidence, and some motivation. That's where it's going to start to come from. You're going to start to feel like, okay, yes, I can do this. I can get myself up. I can get out of bed. I can get dressed. I can get out the door. I can walk into the gym. Like these just little baby steps is what's really going to give you that motivation. It's going to give you the confidence that you can actually do this. And here is where we really, especially in midlife, consistency beats intensity 100%. Like if you go and do a balls out workout and you're working so super hard and you're so sore that you can't work out for 2 weeks, that's not going to help you make any sort of progress. Motivation's not going to be there at all. You're going to be so sore and in pain, you don't want to do anything. You're not going to do anything, right? You're going to, well, I got to sit on the couch. My hips hurt. Okay. So at this phase of life, consistency beats intensity, 100%. All right. So if you are saying to yourself, I want to move every single day, you're not going to go and do a super hard, tough workout every single day. It might be today I'm going to do 10 minutes of walking. It might be 30 minutes of walking. You might do a 60-minute slow yoga class, something like that. Okay. It's this idea of just being consistent over a long period of time versus like go hard, 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 hard. And then all of a sudden you just completely burn out. Your body is done and you don't do anything for the next 2 months. Okay. So motivation is going to follow movement, not the other way around. Start doing the things, start, seeing that you can trust in yourself. You have the confidence in yourself that you can do it. That motivation is certainly going to follow. So how do you get out of this? How do you get out of this getting ready to get ready loop? What is the exit strategy? Okay. You're going to replace getting ready with something ridiculously small. Ridiculously small. All right. We're not talking about going out and buying a new workout outfit. We're not talking about buying new workout equipment. I love the workout equipment. You can see some of this stuff here. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see I've got stuff here in my yoga studio / home gym. I like the stuff. Okay. I certainly get wanting to buy new workout outfits. It's fun. It's motivational. I certainly get all that. But when you're stuck in this, like, over preparing, constantly getting ready. You're getting ready to get ready. Just pick one small thing that you can do to get out of that cycle. Start to recognize the things that you've been doing. Maybe you're saving all the Instagram workouts, you're saving the yoga flows on Instagram, you're watching all the YouTube videos, you're listening to all the podcasts. What is the one thing that you can do today? What is the one thing that you can do today? Is it going on a 10-minute walk? Is it drinking an extra glass of water? Is it having water with dinner instead of a soda or a glass of wine? What is that one tiny thing? Can you take a walk after dinner? What might it be? Okay. One walk, one stretch, one short workout, whatever it might be. And I don't mean turn on the workout and put it on your TV in your living room and watch it. That's not what I mean. I mean actually doing it. Go to the gym. Even if you just walk in the door. I teach at a yoga studio. I teach at a local yoga studio, and I tell people when they come in, like, sometimes that's the hardest part, is just walking in the door and getting on your mat. Okay. Sometimes that's the hardest part. If you can get to the gym, you can walk through the door, you've done the hardest part. Okay. So things that are, it doesn't need to be perfect. Done is better than perfect. All right. We're not shooting for perfection. It's just going, getting it done, doing the thing. You don't need a new plan. You don't need a new workout fit. You don't need new workout equipment. You don't need to save the yoga flow on Instagram. You just need a starting point that is so ridiculously small. Like you're going to do it. Maybe it's add a serving of vegetables to your dinner. Okay. It doesn't need to be something grand. It doesn't need to be something huge. Just pick one thing today. Then you're going to pick one thing tomorrow. You're going to pick one thing the next day. And before you know it, those things are going to become a little bit bigger, and it's going to become a part of your lifestyle. So this hits close to home. That's a good thing. Awareness is the moment change is going to become possible. When you become aware that you're stuck in this getting ready to get ready loop, that's when you are going to have that ability to say, okay, I'm stuck in this loop. I'm going to do the one ridiculously small thing to break that loop. All right, so stop getting ready. Just start where you are. Just start where you are. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, maybe share this video with somebody who you think might find it helpful. And if you are interested, we do have a 365 days body transformation challenge. It's called Operation Fit AF. And this is where we spend a full year just focused on one thing with regards to your health and wellness. You pick the thing, you get to pick what it is. Okay. And so it is just giving yourself a year to focus in on yourself again. Check out operationfitaf.com. You can also go to heathermonty.com/free, and I've got a free example membership of what it looks like when you get into Operation Fit AF. So you get some videos of yoga classes, you get some nutrition guidance, you get some workouts, things like this. So I invite you. I'd love to have you there. See you soon.